Diesel hums a lonesome tune, the white line's my only friend. Passing through the Indiana dark on a run that never ends. I top the rise at marker 12 where the town of Jasper lies. Just a blink of faded neon in the corner of my eyes. There's a diner with a eat it sign, missing half its light, but a shadow in the window makes me squint into the night. Oh, the ghost of Route 23 in a dress of faded blue. I've watched her for 100 nights with nothing else to do. I'm just a rolling stone, a man who's always gone, but I swear I'll pull over one night before the break of dawn. I told myself next Thursday I'd finally park the rig, go in for a cup of coffee, maybe talk to that pretty kid. I'd say the pie looks tasty and she'd say it's homemade, sir. A simple little daydream that I'd always just deferred. 'Cause the schedule's tight and the freight won't wait. It's a foolish trucker's dream to stop for some small talk and a glimpse of that coffee steam. Oh, the ghost of a Route 23 in a dress of faded blue. I've watched her for 100 nights with nothing else to do. I'm just a rolling stone, a man who's always gone, but I swear I'll pull over one night before the break of dawn. Tonight I downshift, turn into the lot. My heart is beating loud. The sign is dark, the door is chained and covered in a shroud. The old man at the Sunoco says, ain't you heard the news? That place closed down back in the spring. The owner paid her dues. His daughter waited on that stool for some driver, don't you know? Waited 10 years for his return, then she let her spirit go. I put the truck in gear again and leave behind the dust. Another ghost on this long road, another broken trust. Oh, the ghost of Route 23 in a dress of faded blue. I finally stopped on a Thursday night and found my dream was through. I'm just a rolling stone, a man who's always gone, and I'll see her in that window from now on. The envelope is on the table from the county clerk. It's brown, says property tax due upon receipt. Here in this dying town, I tip the mason jar up, let the coins spill on the wood. A lifetime of small savings where a hope for good once stood. This was for a new spring coat, the color of the sky. I saw her look at it in Sears with a hopeful little sigh. It's the last dollar in Jarvis County, a fortune built to pride. Pennies for the rain barrel dreams we had to hide. It's the weight of land and legacy on a worn out kitchen table, paying for the dirt we love as long as we are able. I count out every nickel, every worn and thin dollar bill, enough to save the 40 acres against the banker's will. I'll have to tell her Monday that the coat will have to wait. Watch the light fade from her eyes and accept our sorry fate. She'll just nod and say, "That's fine, dear. The old one's warmer anyway." And turn back to her washing to get her through the day. It's the last dollar in Jarvis County, a fortune built of pride. Pennies for the rain barrel dreams we had to hide. It's the weight of land and legacy on a worn out kitchen table, paying for the dirt we love as long as we are able. I sweep the last few pennies up, my count is 20 short. My heart just sinks right through the floor of failure's last report. I go to put the jar away and something catches there, a $20 bill tucked tight. To the glass with gentle care, it's her mama's locket missing from the picture on the shelf. She sold the last thing that she loved to save this farm herself. It's the last dollar in Jarvis County, a fortune built to pride. It's the love of a quiet woman who never leaves my side. It's the weight of land and legacy on a worn out kitchen table, paying for the dirt we love as long as we are able. Dust motes dance in the August heat in the shed out by the lane, sorting through a lifetime's tools and all my father's pain. There's a silence in the workbench vice, a story in the rust, a man who spoke in grunts and sighs and always seemed disgusted. I find a box of finished things, perfect dovetails, smooth turn legs, Then my breath catches in my throat and my unsteady body bears. Oh, the weight of a whittled bird fits right there in my palm. A clumsy, fragile little thing meant to be a charm from a boy who just wanted a well done, not a single word. Now it's the heaviest thing I own, that whittled wooden bird. I was 8 years old with a pocket knife and a block of pine so soft. Tried to carve an angel's wings, my small hands tipping off. I sanded down the jagged parts, I painted it midnight black. I gave it to him after supper, hoping he'd give something back. He turned it in his calloused hand, said, "Wood's wasted, boy, you'll see. A man's work is function, not for foolish novelty." Oh, the weight of a whittled bird fits right there in my palm. A clumsy, fragile little thing meant to be a charm from a boy who just wanted a well done, not a single word. Now it's the heaviest thing I own, that whittled wooden bird. But here it is among his things, kept safe for 40 years. The faded paint, the clumsy lines, washed clean by unshed tears. He never made a thing for me, not a toy or a spinning top, but he kept this one in perfect gift and never let it stop. I close my hand around it now, the edge is smooth with time, and that old hurt I carried don't feel so much like mine. Oh, the weight of a whittled bird fits right there in my palm. It's a message from my father, now a peaceful, calm psalm. It says, "I love you, son," in a language I never heard. The silent, solid, certain weight of a whittled wooden bird. The Starlight Lounge is my second home. The polish on this pie, I poured 1,000 bottles out and heard every lonely line. I see him in the corner, same seat every night, watching her sway by the jukebox in the cheap electric light. They used to share a telephone line, a porch swing, and a name. Now all they share is this dark room and a forgotten kind of shame. In the neon and the null, where the broken dreams all pool, he's just a ghost who buys her drinks and plays the helpless fool. She dances with the emptiness, he drinks to make it dull. They're just two stars that burn too bright in the neon and the null. He'll nurse a beer and whisper, to the condensation rings about the man he could have been and all the better things. She'll spin and smile for strangers, but her eyes are somewhere else, trapped inside a memory no one else remembers else. I wanna tell him, go on home, son, there's nothing for you here. But I just top him off and let him drown in his own fear. In the neon and the no, where the broken dreams all pool, he's just a ghost who buys her drinks and plays the helpless fool. She dances with the emptiness, he drinks to make it dull. They're just two stars that burn too bright in the neon and the no. Tonight his stool is empty, first time in a year or more. The rain is beating on the roof like a fist upon a door. The morning news says John Doe pulled from the river deep. She comes in late and doesn't ask, she just begins to weep. She plays their song, a slow one, and she dances on her own and saves the last spin for the corner where he sat alone. In the neon and the no, where the broken dreams all pool, he's finally free from all the pain and playing her for a fool. She dances with his memory until her heart is full, forever lost together in the neon and the no. The crickets saw our secrets where the cattails grow so tall, where the creek marks the boundary and the willow trees did fall. My daddy's a McAllister, hers was a Lee, a Fuchs and Appomattox that neither side can see. But her eyes were like the summer sky, her hand fit right in mine. We'd meet right in the middle at the Caldwell County line. At the Caldwell County line, we drew our own design, where McAllister and a Lee could say, your heart is mine. We planned to leave this hatred, cross a bigger border sign, just a boy, a girl, a promise at the Caldwell County line. I'd saved up for a year straight, working on old Mr. Brown's farm. That 56 Ford pickup, I'd keep her safe from harm. We'd leave right after harvest, when the moon was dark and new. She'd talk to sea and ocean, I just wanted to see you. Away from all the glaring eyes, the curses and the stones, to build a world where love came first and we could be alone. At the Caldwell County line, we drew our own design, where McAllister and a Lee could say, your heart is mine. We planned to leave this hatred, cross a bigger border sign, just a boy, a girl, a promise at the Caldwell County line. The sky turned black as charcoal the night we meant to go. I waited by the water with the engine running slow. The thunder was my answer, the rain washed all hope clean. Her daddy found our letters hid somewhere in between the pages of her Bible. Now she's gone to Tennessee, and this old creek's just water with no more dreams for me. At the Caldwell County line, the memories are mine, where McAllister loved to lean and said, "Your heart is mine." The truck rusts in the cedar break, a broken, useless sign of a boy, a girl, a promise at the Caldwell County line. The foreman's hand was heavy on my shoulder. His words were cheap and light. Said the corporate board in Atlanta has to make the numbers right. He handed me a cardboard box and my 30 years of time. Said, "Don't take it personal, son, like it was some kind of harmless crime." I drove right past the house and kids to the Piggly Wiggly store, bought a six-pack of resentment, and I headed back for more. With a six-pack and a 22 sitting on a cold steel gate, watching the place that built me decide my family's fate. The radio talks of bailouts and a billionaire's new yacht. I'm just a line item they erased, a man they forgot. The rain begins to fall now on the factory's silent face. This place put food upon our table, put my boy through his first race. My daddy worked the furnace, his daddy laid the stone. Now I'm the one who's holding the bill for a king's faraway throne. I cracked the third can open, let the bitterness wash down. The tallest thing in this whole town is about to be torn down. With a six-pack and a 22 sitting on a cold steel gate, watching the place that built me decide my family's fate. The radio talks of bailouts and a billionaire's new yacht. I'm just a line item they erased, a man they forgot. I look down at that rifle, a tool for a simple end, a final loud decision, a message I could send. But I see my porch light coming on a mile down the road, a silhouette that's wiping dishes, sharing my heavy load. I throw the last can at gate, watch the brown glass explode. Start the truck and turn for home to help her down that road. I left the six-pack and the 22 sitting on the cold steel gate. We'll fight the fate they handed us before it is too late. The fight won't be with bullets, but with sweat and what we've got. I'm not a line item, I'm a man, and forget me, I will not. You'd see him on the courthouse steps most any day at all, with a stack of yellow paper and a pencil worn and small. Old man Henry, the prophet of our slow and steady death, composing letters to the powers with his faint and raspy breath, about the pothole on Maple Street, the price of feeder calves. The kids all called him crazy, we all just shook our heads and laughed. He was the patron saint of lost causes, a one-man lonely fight, a mailbox full of nothing but a solitary light. We'd whisper, "There goes Henry," and we'd chuckle at his name, but he loved this town too much to quit his hopeless, dear old game. He died there on a Tuesday with a letter to the editor in his hand about the need for a new stop sign that nobody else had planned. We cleaned his little tar paper shack that leaned upon the hill, and found a wall of cardboard boxes, silent and so still. They weren't filled with his mad ramblings, as we all had supposed, but every form reply he'd got in envelopes unclosed. He was the patron saint of lost causes, a one-man lonely fight, a lifetime of we regret to inform you, hidden from the light. We didn't laugh so loud then, standing in that dusty room, seeing a monument to try and faced with certain doom. The community hall was freezing, winter wind whistled through the cracks. We needed insulation, but we knew we'd never get the tax. Then someone had the notion, a quiet, shameful thought. We took those thousands of replies, the battles he had fought. We stuffed them in the wall joists between the old drywall. Now his lost causes keep us warm. He's the saint who saved us all. He's the patron saint of lost causes, and he's in the walls tonight. His lifetime of rejection keeps the winter chill just right. We don't say much about it, but we finally understand. The greatest love is showing up with callous Two old men on a porch of pine, watching a monster eat the fields. 100 acres by supper time to its computerized power yields. My friend, he spits and shakes his head, says it ain't no way to farm. Then he gets quiet for a time, like he means to do some harm. The sun is setting on the silos, paint is peeling in the heat. He says, I got a thing to say that's made my life taste bittersweet. It was the harvest of '59, the drought had burned the land. Nothing left but dust and fear, and a desperate, foolish plan. I carried this for 50 years, this weight upon my soul, a secret that I thought would damn me and take its final toll. I was just a scared kid, watching my daddy's dreams turn brown. I saw old man Miller's prize bull, the finest one in town. He had hay and water, 'cause he married bankroll land, while we ate beans and hopelessness from my mama's weary hand. I slipped that rusty latch that night with a prayer up to the sky. I didn't mean to wreck it all, I just didn't want to cry. It was a harvest of '59, the drought had burned the land. Nothing left dust and fear, and a desperate, foolish plan. I've carried this for 50 years, this weight upon my soul, a secret that I thought would damn me and take its final toll. The bull went wild in her dried up rose, trampled what little remained. We told Pa it was a twister to avoid the beating and the shame. He just sat down on the porch and wept. I never saw him cry before. I made my mama's life even harder, and I barricaded my own door. My friend, he's quiet for a long time, just staring at his shoes, then says, I watched you from the fence row. I knew it was the harvest of '59, the drought had burned the land. He said, I knew your secret, boy, I always understood. You were just a scared kid trying to do your best for good. The weight of 50 years just lifted right there in the dusky light. Two old men on a porch of pine, making peace with one long night. Suitcase open on the bed is the whitest thing in this old room. I'm packing up 40 years of silence and a slowly blooming gloom. I fold a simple cotton dress, and I see his shadow in the hall. He knows without me saying a word that this is the end of it all. But I remember standing at the altar in a veil of homemade lace, with a world of hope and wonder on my young and eager face. But the ring upon my finger got heavy through the years. It witnessed all the loneliness, the unshed frozen tears. It's a band of cold commitment, a promise hard and stout. But the ruts out in the driveway are what the talk is all about. The first child that we buried beneath a stone so small drove a silent wall between us that seemed 10 feet thick and tall. The droughts, the depths, the disappointments, we stopped using each other's names. Just two ghosts in a farmhouse playing out our lonely games. I look out at that driveway, two grooves cut deep and gray, where he left for work and came back home every single day. And the ring upon my finger feels lighter now somehow. It witnessed all the showing up, he is doing it right now. It's a band of cold commitment that he never once doubted. And the ruts out in the driveway are what love's all about. I close the suitcase latches, the sound is like a gun. I walk right past him, out the door into the setting sun. I put my hand upon the car door, my heart is beating in my ears. Then I look back at those ruts again, carved out through joy and tears. They're a record of his presence, a testament of truth, not of flashy words of passion, but of seeing something through. I take the suitcase from the scene and I walk back in the house. I don't need words of poetry, I need that man, my spouse. And the ring upon my finger feels right there on my hand. It's the promise of a man who stayed and worked this stubborn land. So let the poets sing of fireworks and a love that shouts and shouts. My love song is two grooves in mud, what the talk is all about. The keys are yellowed ivory, the piano's out of tune. There's no one left to listen except the silent watching moon. The owner said we're closing, son. The bank has took the deed. So this is my last set tonight for the ghosts who feel the need to hear their stories one more time final only hymn. This is the bite of the last honky-tonk, the final fading song. For the trucker and the farmer and the love that went all wrong, I'll pour their lives out through these keys before I say goodbye. Let the stories echo in the dust beneath this empty sky. I play a song for Jasper and the ghost he used to see. I play for that old mason jar and a love's humility. I play for two old friends who found their peace out on the porch, for the weight a father finally laid down with a whittled wooden torch. The music fills the empty space where the crowd used to stand. I play for every working hand across this troubled land. This is the bite of the last honky-tonk, the final fading song. For the broken and the faithful who knew they didn't belong, I'll pour their lives out through these keys before I say goodbye. Let the stories echo in the dust beneath this empty sky. The final chord hangs in the air, a fragile, fragile thing. I close the fallboard gently to the quiet it will bring. I hang my hat upon the top, a signal I am done. I've sung the last of our old world beneath the neon sun. I turn the lock and walk away. The gravel underneath my heel is the only sound that's left now of anything that's real. That was the bite of the last honky-tonk, my final fading song. For the trucker and the farmer and the love that went all wrong, I pour their lives out through those keys, and now I say goodbye. Their stories echo in the dust beneath the starry sky.